Sit down. Go. Sit down. Sit down. Skin the heart away. Southern T. My dog and her true. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If it's your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. Talk to this good boxing, MMA, sports, parlays, predictions every single day and not just today. Today with this EP, I'm not gonna be here longer than 30 minutes, right? Most definitely not gonna be here, longer than an hour. Want to come give y'all, the daily rundown. Daniel Berry, it's still Daniel Berry, right? Daniel Berry, what's good, man? Just want to come in here and give y'all the daily rundown, which I'm gonna probably start doing, every day, right? I know I said that a few times, but I'm gonna try to get y'all something going on this thing for every single day again. Right? Been real busy, been real busy, y'all. If you must know, right, man, I'm about to move, I'm about to change cities, and I'm probably about to give me a missus. I ain't no problem. I'm about to give me a missus around here. I got some stuff planned right now, right? So, your boy been making it do what he do. You know what I mean? As of late, right? But I'm gonna get back here. I'm gonna get back here. You know what I mean? Start back giving y'all that content, right? But we're gonna start it today, right, with the daily, right? We're gonna do the um, pretty much the daily boxing news, right? And I want to hit on something. The first thing I'm gonna hit on, right, is something that we just had today's Green fight. We just had today's Green fight last week, right, and which she got stopped, and I was highly critical of her getting, stopped, not just losing the fight, right, but I was highly critical of her getting stopped. Go on, Patch, sit down, sit down. I was highly critical, of her getting stopped in that fight. She had lost before. She lost kind of similar, to the way that she lost last week, right? But this particular time she had the FS got stopped. What that mean? FS got stopped. Sit down. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go sit down. Go on. But yeah, but she got stopped. What's good? Boxing with. Shout out to my guy Boxing with, right? But for sure got stopped. Yeah, yeah. But she got stopped. What's good? What's good, Ty? Appreciate you sliding through. But yeah, she ended up getting stopped, right? But we got a little more information coming from that. More information, coming from that. She had complications, right? In the fight. She tweeted this out. She tweeted this out herself. She tweeted this. She tweeted this out. She tweeted this out. You know what I mean? Herself. She tweeted this out herself, right? I'm guessing, she did it like straight from the bed, right? So, maybe that's a good sign, right? At least for now, right? That's a good sign, right? But she came out and she told us that she had suffered from brain bleeding inside of that fight, right? Now, some, say that's why she got stopped. Not really sure why she got stopped, right? But brain bleeding is a serious thing, right? You never wish that on nobody. You're coming from a guy who picked her to win the fight too, by the way. People get real. People get on their high horses like when it comes to these celebrities and shit for people they don't know, but are extremely insensitive to the people in the actual real world. Right, you know what I mean? It ain't nothing wrong with that because some people are celebrity worshipers, right? They what they do, they worship celebrities, right? They say, to hell with you and your own problems, right? But make sure you care about this celebrity that got more money and fame than both of us, right? So some people are like that, but I'm not gonna be an asshole, right? You know what I mean? And prayers up for sure to Shadeja Green's family, right? Because that's a serious thing going on indeed. I'm not gonna say if that is true, right? But that's something serious going on indeed, for her to be having bleeding from the brain. And I put the question in there, you know, should she retire? I'm going to think, right, if her brain is bleeding, then maybe she wouldn't get cleared, you know, for fights anyway, right after this. I would think maybe she wouldn't get cleared, but if she is able, you know what I mean, to get cleared, I probably wouldn't want her fighting if I'm her husband, or, you know, I think she actually, you know, like the same thing I like, right? So if I'm her girlfriend, right, or her wife or anything, I don't know if she's married or not. I don't think she is, right? But if I'm her girlfriend or I'm her, you know, significant other, or if I'm even, you know, her dad, her brother, you know, her cousin, their sisters, aunties, or something like that, I'm expressing my utmost concern, right? Because, you know, brain bleeding ain't something that you play with. Like, that could have went real wrong. We've had people die in the ring, you know what I mean, from the same thing, from the same case, from the brain bleed, right? We've had fighters die in the ring. We've had fighters die in the ring as of, you know, the last year, last 2 years, last 365 days, right? We've had fighters die in the ring due to, you know, similar injuries, right? Because the brain, and Deontay Wilder says this a lot, right? Deontay Wilder says this a lot. The brain is not meant, the head, right, is not meant to be punched. The brain is not meant to be shaken. So to be a boxer and to be in there giving your all already, it is a dangerous sport that they do, you know, put on for our entertainment, but it's not just for our entertainment, right? It's to feed their families, it's their livelihood. These things are a part of the game. It's the risk that they take every time that they step in the ring. They understand that, and these are fighters, right? So as a fighter, I'm sure that TWTea Green is going to want to continue to fight, right? That's exactly what she said. That she said she's hoping that she could get back in the ring, right? But if I'm anybody close to her, if you love her, right, then you probably, it's not worth the risk, her getting back in that ring and suffering by another brain bleed, right? Because she may not be as lucky this time, right? And she, if I'm not mistaken, she's still in the ICU, right? And you know, with those things, like, you could be fine one day and then the next day, you know, you'll be not fine, right? With those things, you could be fine one day and then the next day you'll be not fine, right? So hope that everything works out. Hope that everything works out for TWTea. Want to continue to monitor that situation, because, you know, you never want anything like that to happen. I'm hope she's well enough. I'm hope she's well enough to, you know, not even thinking about boxing right now. I hope she's well enough, you know, to be, you know, who she was before she went into that ring. And this is just my personal opinion, man. If I'm her family or something like that, I think we should sit down and we should seriously question, right, if we want to continue to do this boxing thing, because you're going to get punched, you're going to get hit in the head again, just like, you know, you got hit in the head that fight. And a lot of times this doesn't come from, you know, just getting punched in the head once, right? This is an accumulation of, you know, getting punched in the head over the course of, you know, a fight, over the course of a training camp, over the course of a career. These things, you know, catch up with you, and they catch up with you rapidly. Right. So prayers up for TWTea Green. Prayers up for TWTea Green and her family. Never want to quite see something like that happen, right? Okay. So now that we got, you know what I mean, the sad news out the way, the good news is that she is up. She's engaging on social media and whatnot, right? So she seems to be okay at this point, right? But still a situation that you know, we have to monitor, right? So either Boxing Wiz says she should retire. Sucks, because what's she going to do for bread? Now maybe she could be a boxing coach, right? Maybe she could help out beside. Maybe she could help out behind the scenes, right? You know, go maybe be Team USA coach, right? Maybe start her own gym, you know, in her city. Maybe she could help be a promoter, you know, right there with Jake Paul and Jake Paul's promotional company, right? Maybe just find ways to help the game. Maybe find ways to help the game without actually her having to get in there and you know, throw punches and be hit in the head. Okay, it came out Patrick. But She probably you know, she just gotta pack it. She just gotta figure out a way, you know, she can still help the game, and she can still help the game, you know, without having to you know, actually take those punches, right? Maybe like I said, like open the gym, you know, get back, close the door. Maybe you know, her open her gym, you know, maybe go, you know, go to Team USA route, right? Help Team USA, you know, get their maybe help Team USA, right? You know, help those Team USA fighters, those Team USA women, you know, get ready for the Olympic trials and whatnot, right? But it's ways for her to continue to be in the game without actually having to, you know, take those shots, right? Because that's not something you want to play with. That's not something that you want to change. That you know, it's your life. You only get one life, right? One wrong shot, and then who knows, right? So prayers up for Shadeja Green. Hope everything works out for her. And if she so chooses, you know what I mean, to stay in the ring, then you know, God bless her. But at this point, man, I would say boxing is not more important than your life, right? So there's that, and that's where I'm gonna leave. That's where I'm gonna leave. You know what I mean? That at as far as that goes. You know, that's where I'm gonna leave that at as far as that goes, right? So now that we get past, you know, the gut wrenching news, right? We got past, you know, the sad part, right? It is fight week, right? Not a huge fight week, right? But we do have a couple fights this week. We got Jared Big Baby Miller and Lanier Pyro fighting, right? And also we had Lawrence Okolie and we had Tony Yoka, right? So Lawrence Okolie versus Tony Yoka, and we got Jared Miller versus Lanier Pyro, right? So Tony Yoka and Lawrence Okolie fight has been called off. They actually called off the whole entire card, right? Not just the Okolie and Tony Yoka fight, given that it was the main event and it was pretty much the biggest fight on that card, right? Kind of the only fight that I really had interest in seeing on that Tony Yoka Lawrence Okolie card, right? So they called the whole card off, and they called the whole card off because Lawrence Okolie popped dirty for PEDs. Pop dirty for a banned substance. I'm not really sure exactly which PED it was or which banned substance it was, but he most definitely popped dirty for a banned substance, which got the fight canceled altogether. The whole fight card. They're not going to continue the fight card because it really wasn't a big enough co-main event on that card for you to be like, okay, we'll just stop the main and continue the co. The main event was the whole show on that card, right? So they decided just to cancel the show altogether, right? So that Lawrence Okolie and Tony Yoka fight is off. Interesting enough, right? Interesting. Y'all hit that like button for your boy, man. If you're in the building right now, you ain't hit the like. If you're in the building right now, you haven't hit the thumbs up. Why y'all be coming in here not hitting my like button? Y'all don't go to them other places not hit them and not hit them folks like button. Y'all come in here all the time, man, and don't smash my like button. Why y'all come in here and don't smash my like button, bro? Why y'all do? Y'all smash them other niggas like, bro. Y'all smash them. Y'all smash them other women like, bro. Right? I ain't even asking y'all to speak no more because I know y'all ain't gonna speak in here. I ain't even asking y'all to speak no more. Just hit my like button. You coming through? You care enough to be nosy enough to see what I got to say. You care enough to watch me on the low, man. Hit my like button. You might as well. I hit yours. I be hitting yours. You know what I mean? Hit my like button, man, when you come here, man. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. Love me like you love them. Love me like you love them celebrities that ain't gonna never help you out. Love, love me like you love them celebrities that ain't gonna never help you out, man. You know what I mean? But I digress. I digress. I digress. I think it's weird, man. I think it's weird going to people's chats, y'all, and not hitting it like that. Y'all don't think that's weird? I think that's weird going to people's chance, man, and not, you know, smashing that like button. Y'all don't think that's weird? I think that's weird, dog. But I digress. I digress. So, ironically, right, getting back to what I was getting to, my bad, y'all. Y'all know I veered off. Veered off for a second, but now I'm back at it, right? Ironically, right, Lawrence Okolie popped dirty, you know, for the main event fight, and they canceled the whole card. Ironically, Lawrence Okolie popped dirty, and Tony Yoka had gotten in trouble previously for missing 3 drug tests, right, in his career. He's had problems with him missing 3 drug tests in his career previous to this date. Tony Yoka, and then Lawrence Okolie popped dirty in the lead up to this fight. Some of the Brits feel like that Lawrence Okolie was just trying to make sure that it was an even playing field, because why is Tony Yoka, you know what I mean, dodging drug tests to begin with? Some people feel like, you know, Tony Yoka was dodging drug tests, not for this fight in particular, right, but throughout his career. Some people feel like Tony Yoka been dodging drug tests because he's on steroids himself, but never popped dirty for it, right, if I'm not mistaken. But Lawrence Okolie indeed did pop dirty for his fight this week. I was about to drop my Lawrence Okolie fight prediction video yesterday, but I'm glad that I didn't, because I would have had to make a new one today anyway. Because I would have had to make a new one for today anyway, right? But Lawrence Okolie and Tony Yoka's fight is off for this weekend because Lawrence Okolie popped dirty 4 PEDs, man. So Lawrence Okolie has 1 loss in his career. He just moved up to heavyweight recently. He was looking, pretty good. This is most definitely going to set him back, you know what I mean, a little bit, especially as far as them taking him serious. Jared Miller was fighting, this weekend, right? Maybe we could have got a Jared Miller Lawrence Okolie fight. They did say something about that during Jared Miller's last fight. You know, maybe he still gets that fight depending on if Jared Miller wins his fight this week. But Lawrence Okolie fight is off because Lawrence Okolie popped dirty 4 PEDs. Haven't seen many people talk about that, right? So I wanted to come and shed the light on that as well. Right, y'all hit my like button, man. When you slide here, y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. Greatly appreciate you sliding through. I know y'all don't give a damn what I be talking about half the time, but you in here, right? So hit that like button while you in here. You came through, just jab that junk for me, right? Prayers up to Sadaja Green, Lawrence Okolie popped dirty, and his fight. Also on other news, some news that you probably knew, some news that you didn't know, right? But Teofimo Lopez, and we're gonna talk about. Matter of fact, let's talk about Moses Itauma first. We'll talk about TOS. Moses Itauma very well could have a title shot coming up pretty soon. There's 2 ways that he could have a title shot. Today we're gonna talk about the WBA. Well, actually, we're gonna talk about both, right? There's 2 ways he can have a title shot. One being that the WBA, because Alexander Usyk is probably going to either get stripped of the belt or have to vanquish the belt. Because what I'm hearing is that the WBA is not going to they're not going to qualify his fight, with the MMA kickboxer guy, right? They're not going to qualify his fight with the kickboxer as an official match in order for him to defend his WBA mandatory, to forgo his mandatory, right? So he's going to have to fight the guy that they have selected for him, which is Marcel Garcia, which is a former cruiserweight himself. But it looks like that he's going to continue the fight with the MMA fighter. So he's probably going to get stripped of that WBA. And if he is stripped of that WBA, then that means that that belt is probably going to go vacant, in which Garcia is going to get his shot. And what I'm hearing is that they're going to put Moses Itauma versus Garcia for that WBA. There is also another route, right? Fabio Wardley with the IBF, Fabio Wardley, which was another belt they got stripped from Alexander Usyk, right? Fabio Wardley with the IBF is currently set to fight Daniel Dubois, right? It's also possible that the winner of that Daniel Dubois Fabio Wardley fight could also be called to fight Moses Itauma for the IBF championship. Fabio Warley has come out. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know. Not gonna lie to y'all, I didn't necessarily know this, but Fabio Warley has come out and said that, you know, him and Moses Itauma are sparring partners, like every day, same gym, same room, same class, talk to each other, same trainer every single day, sparring partners, right? Um, he said the only way that him and Moses Itauma said that they will fight is if it's for undisputed at the heavyweight division. So outside of it being for undisputed at the heavyweight division, him and Moses Itauma already decided that they're not going to fight one another. They came from Moses and they came from Fabio Warley's side, right? So what I'm thinking is, unless right Fabio Warley loses to Du Bois, then he very well could get an IBF title shot, I think. But if Fabio Warley wins that fight, due to the fact that they're probably not going to fight one another anyway just yet, I think Moses Itauma will be getting that call for that WBA strap, right, to fight Gusiev after they take the belt from Alexander Usyk when he steps into the ring with the kickboxer, right? So Moses Itauma is probably going to be a champion a little sooner than you think, right? Also, somebody who may be a champion, right, a little sooner than you think, who may be a champion again, right, a little sooner than you think, right, is Teofimo Lopez, Southern T. What you talking about? Well, Teofimo Lopez, from what I'm hearing, from what's, you know, what's circulating around in the news, Teofimo Lopez is probably about to get that IBF vacant title shot. Him and Luis DeFolo. This is Luis Delgado. Luis, now his name is Luis DeFolo, ain't it? Right, him and Luis Delgado. Is it Delgado? LaFolo Delgado. That's his name, LaFolo Delgado. Delgado, y'all know Delgado fight for I think he used to fight for Top Rank, fight for Golden Boy now, or he maybe fought on Top Rank, but he always fought for Golden Boy. But he's a Golden Boy fighter though. Lindalo Delgado, right? But Delgado and Teofimo Lopez, let me make sure. I know I'm right, but I want to make sure that I'm right. But those two are about to be ordered by the IBF for Richardson Hitchens, vacant 140-pound IBF title. Delgado and Teofimo Lopez, right? So Teofimo Lopez is about to get him a shot. Teofimo Lopez is about to get him a shot, right? Coming off his loss to Shakur Stevenson. He's about to get right back in the mix. He's going to fight Delgado, right? And depending on how you feel about Delgado, you either think that's a really easy fight for Teofimo Lopez, or you think, you know, there's going to be a bit of a struggle for Teofimo Lopez. I think Teofimo Lopez fighting Delgado, he most definitely has, you know, a shot to win that fight. Delgado, I think, is a pretty good fighter, right? But I don't think he's so much better than Teo, where Teo doesn't have a chance, you know, to win that fight. I actually think they're giving Teo a hell of a shot to get his title back, you know, fighting Delgado, because I think there's somebody right along, you know, I think that's right up his alley, right? I think that's right along his speed. I'm not gonna quite call it Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios, right? But I feel like it's floating around. It's floating. I feel like it's floating around. You know what I mean? That area, as in this is a pretty winnable fight for Teofimo Lopez. It feel like that they want Teofimo Lopez to win. Now he has to go out there and do it. But them giving him an instant title shot, you know, before he even step back, in the ring, tells you everything you need to know. Tells you everything you need to know, right? But Teofimo Lopez will indeed be getting him another title shot. Is going to be for the IBF title. So that's pretty much, man, everything that I want to holler at y'all about. Y'all make sure y'all pull up tomorrow. We gonna do a body show, probably about an hour. Right? An hour or so, something like that. Me and my girl Coma Serene, we gonna come up here, we gonna preview a couple fights, and then we gonna talk about what's next for Clarissa Shields and get into, you know, a little bit of women's boxing with everything that's going on, right? But just to give you the rundown again, Lawrence Okolie pop dirty for a PED. So his fight this weekend is off. Um, so his fight this weekend is off. Teofimo Lopez is probably about to get him a vacant IBF title shot. Richardson Hitchens vacant belt. Teofimo Lopez versus Delgado is probably about to go down for that. And Moses Itauma has two outlets to a championship right now, the WBA and the IBF. It's seeming like the WBA is going to be more of what actually goes down. Right? The WBA is probably going to become vacant as soon as Alexander Usyk steps in the ring to fight the kickboxer, right? WBA is probably going to strip him then, right? And then they're going to have a vacant fight with Musel Gassiev, who came up from cruiserweight, versus Moses Itauma for that WBA heavyweight championship, right? And if that don't work out, the IBF also said something about, the winner of Fabio and Daniel Dubois having to fight Moses Itauma, right, for that belt. Fabio Ward and Moses Itauma are training partners. They both already came out and said that they're only going to fight for undisputed, right? So my thinking is the WBA route is probably the route that Moses Itauma is going to take, right? In that case, right? So I'm thinking it's going to be more so he gets his title shot at in the WBA rankings than he does in the IBF is Moses Itauma, right? So I'm not gonna say they're going to fast track Moses, right? But it looks like Moses is going to get, he's going to get to the top a little faster than I thought, or at least the hype around him and the feel around him is that he's ready for the best. I don't quite know if he is ready, right? But I guess we are about to find out, because if he's going to be put into a championship position or get a championship shot and say he wins it, then he most definitely is going to be a champion, right? So he's going to have to fight, or maybe not, right? But he's going to have to fight the Alexander Usyk and the Fabio Wardleys, right? And the Tyson Furies, Anthony Joshua's of the world, if he's going to put his name, you know what I mean, in that mix. I personally feel like Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are setting one another up for a fight, right? I feel like that's the fight that Anthony Joshua is going to take. That's the guy, one of the only guys that he hasn't fought, right? Had the little run in with Deontay Wilder, right? But I don't think much is going to come from that, right? So I'm actually thinking Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury got unfinished business, right? So I think the heavyweight division is wide open for some new blood. And heavyweight division is ran strictly, mostly by, the UK right now. Frank Sanchez and Robert Torres are about to fight in a title eliminator, right? If I'm not mistaken. So one of them could be getting a title shot soon. But the heavyweights mostly being ran by the UK now, right? We don't have a lot of great American heavyweights right now. We almost don't have one great American heavyweight right now. We got a couple guys who may get there, right? A prospect here, a prospect there, right? Joshua Edwards, right? But the UK, they're on top of the heavyweight boxing scene, right now. Not all of them are great, but they do have, a lot of them, right? If you count Alexander Usyk, you know what I mean, in that mix. He's from the Ukraine, right? But if you count him in that mix, you know what I mean, overseas champ, I should say, right? So I'm ready. I'm ready for an American heavyweight to rise up in the ranks, right, and start to challenge these guys, right? But I do think the heavyweight division is about to start stepping into that new guard, right? Maybe I'm gonna say this for tomorrow when we talk about David and Zerto, right? But I know Ja Apataya said he's going up to heavyweight, right? And then I think if David Benavidez and Zerto fight, I think the winner of that fight is probably going to go up to heavyweight too, right? David may end up going back down, but I think if Zerto wins it, he's most definitely going to go up, right? But that's all I got for y'all, man. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Prayers up to Shadeja Green and her family. Teofimo Lopez is going to be challenging for the IBF vacant title that Richardson Hitchens left vacant. Moses Itauma is going to be challenging for the WBA heavyweight title After they strip Alexander Usyk for fighting the kickboxer, Moses Itauma more than likely is going to be fighting for that WBA strap. And what was that last thing? T.O. Moses. Great. Oh yeah, and Lawrence Okolie popped dirty. His fight is off this weekend, right? But that's all I got for y'all, man. Skin Hardaway Southern T. It's in the past, it's in the future, it's the present. It's how we rocking, and I'm out. Make sure you subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend.